This is the vision I saw for Soon on October 18th. There was a dark room. It was pitch black. And I saw Soon holding what looked like a kindle of a fire in his hand. It just looked like what you would use to start a fire. And it was just, he was holding it close to his mouth and he was blowing on it to make the fire light even more and more. And as he blew on it, the little pieces of ignition blew into like a fire in front of him that sort of stood up 6 or 7 feet tall. And inside this fire were writings. And the first thing that I saw was actually it was a fish, and he took a part of this substance, this writing or fire, and he put it under his little fin, and he started to go forth. And it looked like he was going against a current, and he was going with all of his might, and he sort of went up and looped back around to try again, and went up and looped back around to try again. And this was a process he was going through. And then I saw again coming to the fire, taking some and going out, were about 5 to 7. It looked like worms or caterpillars or something that moved slowly, going out into all directions, taking part of this word. And it was going out, slowly out in all directions. And then the third person that I saw come and take from this fire was a huge, giant warrior. And he was thick and strong and just massive, and definitely a giant. And he took out of the fire almost what looked like these writings in some sort of book form. And he began to go through it, just thumb through it. And after he did this, he actually fell down dead. And then after this, and this is in the same place, but something different happened sort of behind this going on. And it was, I saw the earth, and the earth was sort of covered, and it was, it was small and it was low to the ground. And in comparison with this fire, it wasn't even a quarter of the size of this fire. But, yes. So the earth was sort of like lit up with fire a little bit, but it was scorched. It was covered and scorched. And this hand came, and these black nails came, and they began to scratch off the surface of this earth. And it would scratch all around this, and the earth, after it was all scratched up, came out as a bright light. And before the vision moved on, the Lord showed me this in 3 ways. He showed me the earth being scraped away from the black charcoal type substance around the earth. And then he showed me 2 more ways. He showed me an apple being on a peeler. So there's this machine that you put an apple on, and it peels the apple outer layer off. If you kind of use a tool, like a, I don't know if you're familiar with this object. I probably don't have to explain it. It's just an apple peeler, and you put the apple on the stick, and it kind of just takes off the outside of the apple while you move it with your arm. And that's how it comes off. And then the third thing that I saw was, if you've ever seen a slow motion video of a balloon filled with water, when they put a pin to it, the outer balloon part pops and the water actually stays solid. They do it in slow motion so that you can see that. Obviously, you can't see it to the naked eye, but and when it slows down in slow motion, you put a pin to the balloon, and the water that was inside the balloon stays in its form, obviously for a split second or less than a second, or a nanosecond, but that's what it looks like in slow motion. So all those 3 things were shown to me. And then afterwards, you came around the side of this earth that was now been scraped away, and it's like a light. It's like the light of the sun. It was very clearly that it was the light of the sun, but it was still in a low position. And you put a black wastepaper, a black wire wastepaper basket over it, and it took the light out of it. And then the Lord showed me this in 2 ways. It showed me that way, and then it showed you putting it into this sort of like this bag. It reminded me of a a bowling ball bag that you would like shine a bowling ball. It's like a little cloth, like a linen thing with two handles on it. And it also showed you putting the light out with this cloth type linen thing. And then afterwards, after the light was put out, you took the ball, which was the earth, and you put it up into the air, and it was high above now, and it was shining, and it was beautiful, and it had the light of like the glory of God on it. It was just like a shining light that was not like the sun, but of a different light, and it was all lit up, and it was sparkling, and it was beautiful. And that was the end of the vision.